Welcome and thank you for watching this video. I hope that you will find it both informative and entertaining. Today we are going to delve into the topic of binomial distribution and discuss its Excel function. What is the binomial distribution? As we will see, describes the probability of something happening a certain number of times in a fixed number of tries, where n is the number of trials and x is the number of successes, or in other words, how many times we want our desired outcome to occur in the n number of trials. Let's start with the simplest binomial distribution example. Suppose a child flips a coin only once. What is the probability of its getting heads? The answer is of course 50%, but this simple example encouraged us to define P as the probability of getting a success, getting heads in our example, and define Q as the probability of not getting a success, getting tails in our example. Now let's add some complexity to our problem. The child is wondering, if I flip the coin 10 times, what would be the probability of getting heads exactly 6 out of 10 times? In other words, n is equal to 10 and x is equal to 6. The child is thinking that it must find how many ways there are that you can choose 6 heads out of 10 flips. It reviews all the potential combinations, counts them one by one, and finds that there are 210 such combinations. However, the child thinks that it needs a formula, as it cannot count so much every time it has to deal with such a problem. So it opens its books and finds the binomial coefficient formula that can be used to calculate the number of all potential combinations. Here is the formula. We are not going to discuss it further and gives exactly the same result. However, as the child was reviewing the 210 possible combinations, it made a very insightful observation. Each of them contains 6 heads and 4 tails, or to make it more general, x number of desired outcomes and n minus x non-desired outcomes. Collecting these thoughts, the child found that the probability yielded by the formula is equal to the number of combinations that it counted previously, multiplied by the probability of one sequence, or in other words, multiplied by the probability of getting 6 heads and 4 tails out of 10 flips. We apply this formula and the probability is found to be equal to 20.5%. Are you feeling overwhelmed by the complexity of this process? Fear not, because we have a solution that is sure to simplify things. With the power of Microsoft Excel at our fingertips, we can easily breeze through these calculations and make our life a lot easier. So here we are in Microsoft Excel, and we want to estimate the probability based on binomial distribution with exactly the same data. N is equal to 10. P is the probability of getting heads, that is equal to 50%, and x is the number of successes. So we will use the binomial distribution formula of Excel to make our calculations. We start typing the equal sign, binom.dist. We open bracket. The first argument is the number of successes, the number of desired outcomes, that is equal to 6. The second argument is the number of trials, that is equal to 10. The third argument is the probability of success, that is equal to 50%. And as the fourth argument, we insert the value 0. So we have exactly the same output, and the probability based on binomial distribution is equal to 20.5%. Thank you very much for watching.